Hello beautiful singers, this is Valerie White-Williams and Vocal Splendor Studios, and today I would like to talk to you about when you should see an ENT, a laryngologist, also known as an eye, nose, and throat doctor. So this is something that has come up recently for one of my online students. He went to New York for the weekend and his voice never was the same after he came back. So we were hoping things would clear up. Several weeks went by. I think it almost came to a month, and he said he still was having problems with his voice. He had some range issues, some fatigue, sometimes a lump on the throat. And so what I did is I suggested that he see an ENT, and I went online actually and went to some of my singing network and tried to find one in his area. He was in the greater Dallas area, and I found some doctors for him to go to. So he went there, and lo and behold, he did have nodules. And so he got on a treatment plan and is on his way to recovery. So nothing worse happened than that. You can recover from nodules, but there has been times before when I've had students that I really felt they should see a voice doctor. And so, yeah, I've had other students who should have seen a voice doctor. Years ago, I had a student who was only a 6th grader, and she was very talented, great rock singer, and she was going to sing her school talent show. And right before she went on, she had this raging sore throat. She probably had strep, and she did not want to sing. And so when she decided to feel like she should back off and not sing, everybody thought she had nerves and told her to sing anyway and that she would be fine. So she got on the stage, sang her song, and when she was finished, she was completely hoarse. Then, not only that, but her voice did not recover for months, almost a year. Now, at that time, I told her she should see a laryngologist. Her family never did, but I remember hearing myself what happened, and I cannot go back in time, and neither can a voice doctor, but I feel that she probably had a vocal hemorrhage. And a vocal hemorrhage is what's been happening to a lot of the singers today on the tour. So what happens with that is when the vocal cords are already swollen from either an illness like sore throat or vocal fatigue, then if you sing really hard on that, especially high rock or anything that's more intense, then you're putting your vocal cords at risk of hemorrhaging, which is blood on the cords. So once that happens, it's a very difficult and somewhat treacherous recovery. Now, I do think my student did make a full recovery. She was young, she was a kid, she's still growing, but that's really scary. Not everybody has such good results. So the thing about going to an ENT or a laryngologist is what they'll do is they will put a camera in your nose called a scope. And I've never had it done, but they stick it in your nose and they film your vocal cords below. And you can diagnose by filming what they see on the vocal cords. So whether they're red, whether there's anything growing on them, all that stuff is what they can see. And it's very efficient, and they'll know. Now what's great about where I live right now in Seattle is Seattle has a voice doctor training and speech pathology program where you can go to the University of Washington and be scoped for only $50. So that's something everybody can afford. Now, when you do these programs, it's going to be a little bit more, take longer, because usually you have teachers that are checking and making sure everything's going right. But everybody can afford a $50 check to really see what's going on if they're concerned. So the things to look out for is if you know, sometimes after illness, if your voice doesn't recover, it can take a while, but if things are ongoing, so you have ongoing pain in your throat that's been going on for a long time, you have a lack of range that's been consistent versus what you used to have, and then you have some break problems. You could also have more fatigue than you normally do. This is for people who already have had training, so normally training can help the fatigue, but if it's constant, that's another warning sign. So if things go on for 3 weeks to a month and they haven't recovered, then it might be a good idea to go and find where these programs are. You can Google online, ask friends. Singing websites often will give good referrals. You want to go to an ENT who is actually a laryngologist, because I know some throat doctors that have different specialties, And ideally, you want to go to someone who works with singers or speakers because they're going to be a little more sensitive on some of the tasks that you can do. But your voice is too important. We really want to take care of our vocal health. Laryngologists have a great place. I've gone to a lot of workshops with them, and to be honest, they're really funny guys. Who knew, right? I think they really want to help people, and they're doing some amazing work to help people recover, and the technology is amazing. So I encourage you, if you are dealing with ongoing vocal issues, consider going to an ENT. Hopefully your insurance will cover it, but if not, there are other options, and take care of your voice. One more thing I want to say, there is no shame on having injuries as a singer. It happens to all athletes, but again, it plays into the shaming of singers that have injuries. It is not fair. No one tells a football player they have bad technique if they have an injury. Things happen, and there's a lot of pressures on singers on all levels. So laryngologists are there to support us, and voice teachers like myself are there to help you learn good technique, but sometimes all the great technique in the world is not going to prevent an injury, and there's no shame in getting help and getting support with that, so we can recover your voice. So, have any of you seen an ENT? Please share your experience below. I'd love to hear from you, and keep singing on.